No, I love it. It was so good.
Keep it going for Grant Lopez.
What's the recording button?
Smokes weed.
Oh, it is. Oh.
As you can't tell. All right.
Sorry, Will. I didn't know I was recording. Oh, yeah. No.
This next dude coming to the stage, I can see his kneecaps through his pants. It's William Wheeler, ladies and gentlemen. And so can you in the back.
Yo, I thought I had tight pants until I saw Zach wear some. I'm like, damn, is that guy naked up on stage? I was talking to some friends the other day, and we were talking about, now that we've been in the pandemic for so long, it's becoming a trend that for like friends to give other friends COVID, right? And so I've been hearing people say, yo, it's cool to give your friends COVID. And I was like, hey, it's not the first time I've caught some C. Hey, I'm just kidding. I've been dating again recently. I'm in the on season again, what I like to call it. I like to be single for a while in the off season and go back in the on season again. But I've noticed using Tinder now, it's not the same Tinder that it was 6 years ago. It's because like Tinder now, it has algorithms. Back in the day, like 6 years ago, you could just swipe blindly while watching a movie and not even like be worried about it. So you could just be watching a movie like this. Insane, get carpal tunnel like that. It's insane. But like the other day, I was on a date. But have you ever? And I feel like this is pretty universal. Have you ever been on a date and then 10 minutes and it feels like a week? Yeah, and then 30 minutes and it feels like a month. Yeah. So I feel because of that universal experience, that's why Green Day wrote the song "Wake Me Up When September Ends." It's like, I'm gonna put myself into an induced coma right now, please. It sucks sometimes. Because honestly, let's be honest, one of the ultimate truths is that we're only alive for 100 years if we're lucky, right? So we don't have time for 13 seconds of bullshit, okay? I don't. Sometimes. But unless the bullshit is like I appreciate stupid bullshit, like fun stupid bullshit. What I mean by that, and I started doing this, you can do this too. You bust out your phone, right? And then you open up any text message thread, and then you have it open like that, and you walk around holding your phone like that. When people ask you, hey, what are you doing? You can say, I'm holding a conversation. I know it's so dumb. I know. I love it. I lean into it. I was like super excited a couple weeks ago because I met a really famous person. I got a picture with her. I met Bridget the Midget, guys. Woo! And she's 3'9". If you haven't seen midget porn before, because anyone can watch normal person porn, but if you've never seen midget porn before, it is some good shit, okay? Because like one of her videos was like this guy walks into a motel room, right, with a briefcase, or suitcase I should say, puts it up on the bed, unzips it, Bridget pops out, they do the movie, and then she's all dirty and messy and gross, and then he puts her back in the suitcase, zips her up again, end of the movie. You can't compete with that. None of us can. It's amazing. And I met her, and if you don't know who she is, obviously, she's a world famous stripper and porn star, right? And she was stripping here in Albuquerque a couple weeks ago at TD's North and at Fantasy World, right? So when I went to TD's North, I caught her for like 10 minutes while she was on the floor, right? And then she went over to Fantasy World. So I went over to Fantasy World, and I waited there inside Fantasy World with monk-like discipline for 3 hours. She didn't pop up until like 3 in the morning. And every time someone came up to me, like asked me if I wanted a lap dance, I was like, no, I came here to see Bridget, not you. And then finally, Bridget shows up, right? And then you knew when she was here because like everyone in the building started screaming, Bridget's here! Woo! And then she goes to the back, she changes, she gets up on the stage, she started doing her act, and I'm like, man, I've been waiting a long ass time for this. I had unparalleled confidence that night. It was the first time I told a perfect 10 to move out of the way so I could look at a 10 and a half. It was insane, right? And then she finishes, right? She gets all dressed up, puts her clothes back on, she goes outside for a cigarette. And I was hoping to get an autograph, but because I'm an autograph collector, but she didn't have any 8x10s that night. So I asked her, excuse me, Bridget, can I bother you for a picture? And she's like, and then and then we got the picture, right? And then I was trying not to fangirl in front of her, and then I know that's weird to fangirl over someone like that, considering the scope of her work, but like I had to tell her, I was like, Bridget, thank you so much for your time. I've been such a big fan of your work for so many years. And she's like, oh, thank you. And she put her little hands together, and then she bowed. All right, guys, that's been my time. I'm William Wheeler.